美国移民海关执法局特工在犹他州的法庭上突然逮捕了一名移民。在降级 B 类轻罪醉酒驾驶的听证会上，美国 Ice 官员把该移民逮捕并带回监狱。
After you talk with the attorney and decide how you want to handle this case today, I'm going to have to take you into custody because ICE has given an order that we're supposed to take you into custody today. So I'm ordering you not to leave the courthouse, but I do want to at least give you the benefit of talking through your options with an attorney. I personally feel bad that we're going to have to take you into custody. That isn't my choice or decision, but it's something under federal law that I'm going to have to follow. And I want to at least give you the chance to resolve this case today, if it can be resolved, so that it doesn't result in any future warrants or problems.
Thank you.
Well, don't thank me. I am sad. 3 states.
Unified police versus federal agents. It's a story we broke this evening on ABC4. Glad to have you with us, everyone. I'm Brian McElhatton. We uncovered new video from the Unified Police Department. It shows tense moments between UPD officers and ICE agents during a traffic stop. And it raises the question, were those agents purposefully deceiving our local police? Here's what happened.
Are you guys still working on that, right?
I got him on the line. He's at 4970 South.
On January 26th, Unified Police was called to assist ICE agents on a traffic stop. When UPD arrived, ICE agents had already stopped a car and claimed the driver had swerved toward them.
He admitted that, he basically honked at us and was trying to piss us off and try to scare us. So, I don't know, man. It was pretty, a little sketchy. We were definitely we were kind of like this, just down the road a little bit. And he came out, he was in this lane. And he came at us and he honked. He was probably as far as that close. So we had to get out of the way.
But the driver denied that.
Yeah, when I honked, I was barely starting to cross. By the time I had crossed over, my car was past the car.
Okay.
So, yes, I honked.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but I didn't sideswipe it.
And he defended his stance.
He told me he doesn't like it because he doesn't like ICE.
I don't. It's not a crime. It's not a crime.
Okay.
I can respect you, and not respect him.
But the federal officers insisted they were right, saying something had to be done.
We're hoping you guys to do something. Because we know if we go up our chain of command and ask, they're probably going to deny it. We can try, but...
I mean, that's the thing. We didn't see it, right? So you guys are the witnesses to it, so we can't really get nothing. So he said, she said thing.
While UPD gathered statements from the ICE agents, 2 of those 3 agents declined to provide written statements.
In that car right there, we already arrested him. We left us. We were about to leave the scene. This gentleman right here decided to try and sideswipe us. He actually had to pull me out of the way. That off. So he put chase, pulled him over, put another vehicle in front, and on his horn as he went by.
In the black?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
The agents then suggested, instead of filing charges, issuing a citation for failure to yield could be an option.
Basically, it's failing to yield, stop for approaching emergency vehicles. All right, that's the only thing we could figure out. Sorry, man. This is a nothing deal for us, and we're sorry this is happening to you. Okay?
I appreciate everything.
Okay. All right. Don't worry about it, man. It's not that big as far as traffic stuff, but the experience is...
And when UPD pulled surveillance video from a nearby location, it did not show the driver swerving toward the ICE agents as they claimed. As a result, UPD has dismissed the citation issued to the driver, and UPD commanders say they've contacted ICE to express concerns about the inaccuracies
and inconsistencies in the agent's statements.
Now we have reached out to ICE for a statement. We're waiting to hear back from them. Unified Police say concerns over immigration status should never prevent someone from seeking help from police, especially if they are a victim of a crime. First, the ICE scandal in Mill Creek. The city's mayor says that social media erupted after reports of ICE agents here lying to Unified Police about their reason for pulling a man over.
They say a driver dangerously swerved at them while they were making an arrest. But after seeing security camera footage, UPD completely dropped the citation they issued. Our Jordan Tracy spoke with the mayor. He joins us live here tonight. Jordan, catch us up to speed here.
Well, Brian and Sarah, let me first point this out. Mayor Silvestrini seemingly emotional tonight when speaking about his police department, proud of what Unified did in responding to seeing something wrong, standing up to federal agents and making sure that what they did was right. Now, he wanted to emphasize that he wants the public to have trust in their local police departments and feel comfortable going to them, as they are not the ones who are enforcing immigration laws. They don't have that jurisdiction. That's only a federal thing. Now, he wrote in a scathing letter after this incident to ICE about what happened, calling what they did unprofessional, even calling it potentially criminal and filing a false report. If you look at the video, you can see clearly that there is no evidence that that driver actually swerved toward them. What they did see is, it seems, is that that person in question actually swearing at the officers, but the mayor saying tonight that it is unprofessional to let that get to an officer. Normally, a professional officer will let that roll off their back and not respond the way that these ICE agents allegedly did. Now, this is what he had to say about the way his officers, Unified Police, responded.
I hope that that will give residents of my community confidence that this city and our police department are going to respect people's civil rights. And frankly, we'll fight for those civil rights even when others try to abuse them.
Now, ICE did release a statement to ABC4. You're seeing a portion of that right now, but in part it's telling us that they take allegations like this very seriously and that they will be investigated. Now, Mayor Silvestrini saying that he hopes to see this investigated, but he still has concerns. For example, Unified Police do often get called to assist with ICE on some of these operations, and he asked the question, can his officers trust working with these agents if this is how they're going to respond in situations like this? So obviously some ongoing questions, some ongoing turmoil that we're going to continue following here, as some questions are still raised about how ICE agents are responding in incidents like this, guys.
I'm going to have to take you into custody because ICE has given an order that we're supposed to take you into custody.
In a video inside Ogden City Justice Court, you can see a man standing before a judge for a misdemeanor. I'm Julia Sandor in Ogden, and we'll show you more of that video where in just a matter of minutes, the defendant is told ICE is waiting for him.
I personally feel bad that we're going to have to take you into custody. That isn't my choice or decision, but it's something under federal law that I'm going to have to follow.
On January 29th, the man showed up for his court appearance in Ogden after police say he rear-ended another vehicle while at a traffic light. In the probable cause affidavit, it says the man had a strong smell of alcohol on him. He was originally charged with a Class B misdemeanor.
People who shouldn't necessarily need an attorney are wanting an attorney now because they're so scared to go to court, and they want me to figure out a way to protect them, right, from this potential arrest or exposure to ICE.
Francisco Roman is an immigration attorney in Ogden, and he focuses on deportation defense, immigration law, and criminal defense, and where they all overlap. He says he's seen firsthand the effect instances like this one can have on a family.
I think we could all benefit from some empathy, and it's really hard to empathize, especially when everything's so political. But they're no different than you or I, right? They have families, they have jobs, and they have people who depend on them.
While he says many of the people he's spoken to are nervous to go to court, He's trying to find ways to resolve these situations for clients, like having video hearings online.
I'm ordering you not to leave the courthouse, but I do want to at least give you the benefit of talking through your options with an attorney.
Before the defendant is detained, he thanks Judge Clay Stuckey for giving him a chance to resolve the case at hand.
Well, don't thank me. I am sad. 3 states.
In Ogden, Julia Sandor, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Turning now to those federal immigration raids happening across the country. Today, federal agents detained and arrested people in Denver and the neighboring city of Aurora, Colorado, breaking down doors and questioning people as they searched for more than 100 reported Venezuelan gang members. Scripps News correspondent Tony Kovaleski is live for us in Denver. Thank you so much for being here, Tony. Did they find the people they were targeting?
Well, we don't know the answer to that yet. I'm sure they did get some. We're also sure they did not get all. Maya, good afternoon. About 5 hours ago, eight men came out of those doors behind me in handcuffs, detainees. It was a well-orchestrated, well-planned event involving Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the DEA, Homeland Security, and the FBI. They shut off about 4 square blocks around here. We've got some video we'd like to show you. But several operations have been ongoing all morning, more than a half dozen in the metro area. They were targeting, as you said, about 100 was the number they were looking to get. We have an interview with the special agent in charge of ICE later on this afternoon. We're going to get those answers. But we also talked to neighbors here, and one gentleman came up to us, and he's lived here for more than a dozen years, and he talked about how he really appreciated what happened because for months and months, because of the people and many individuals living in this apartment complex, he has not felt safe. So here's what he had to say.
I feel glad that somebody's finally doing something about this place. You know, I got 13 grandkids. I got 4 children. You know, we walk by here every day, you know, and they're scared to come out of the house. I mean, it's brutal. It really is. It's brutal.
So you heard one neighbor saying thank you for what happened here in Aurora in Denver, Colorado this morning, but not everybody had that opinion. There were others that were frustrated by the imposition of the federal agents and what took place. So clearly 2 sides of that issue, but we do know that there are more operations planned. This is the largest operation in the metro area since the first one took place 10 days ago. That was another early morning situation, that in Arapahoe County, rather Adams County, just north of Denver. But today, successful, sure, as successful as they wanted. We're going to find out in about an hour. Maya?
Tony, I know that there is a sizable Hispanic population in the Denver metro area. Has there been any reaction from that community to all of this?
Well, there is a lot of trepidation. There's concern. There's wondering how far these will go, and we've talked to people from that community also. The headline, the advertisement from federal agencies is we're coming in to get the bad guys, the people with criminal records, criminal histories, individuals that have intimidated this community and been responsible for crime. And you heard from Eric, the gentleman that lives here. He's heard gunshots. He and his family have not felt safe, and he was very pleased with the results of what happened today with the federal agencies. But as you raise that point, there are others that are concerned. They want to make sure that what is being said about coming in and getting the bad guys is actually true. Maya?
That's Scripps News correspondent Tony Kovaleski live for us in Denver. Tony, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
A series of ICE raids took place today throughout the Denver metro area. We know of immigration agents at least 7 locations. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Tom Green. It is still unclear at this point how many people have been detained or arrested. Here is a look at where we have seen federal agents today. The Edge at Lowry near 12th and Dallas in Aurora, and 3 other apartment complexes in Aurora, all targeted. Agents also went to 3 apartments in Denver and a mobile home park in Thornton.
And that's where we find 9 News reporter Evan Krugel. And Evan, you witnessed the raid there.
We did. That operation took place inside this mobile home park behind me, where federal immigration agents in tactical gear detained 4 people, including a woman and a baby. Here's video of those 4 people being detained. This happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon. We are choosing to blur their faces because we do not know who they are or why immigration officers are taking them into custody at this point. I can tell you the federal agents involved in this operation here have been moving across the entire metro area today. We followed them from a staging point in Aurora to a park in Federal Heights in North Denver, where they began assembling an armored vehicle with a ramming rod on the front. They then drove over to this mobile home community in Thornton on Elbert and Castle Road, where they parked that Bearcat facing into one of the homes. Immigration officers threw a flashbang at the home. They used a loudspeaker to announce they had a warrant and to tell those inside to come out with their hands up. A woman and a baby came out first. 2 men later followed them. All 4 were placed into Homeland Security vehicles. Now, the 2 men were taken away, then the woman and the child were released. We spoke with one neighbor who said the sudden arrival of dozens of armed agents was scary and surprising.
Well, there was a lot of cops, and I was just like, oh, that sucks, you know, just seeing like them trying to break in and break families apart. Yeah, like they made it a big deal for no reason. Like, I just think that they should do one-on-one instead of making it a big deal. Like, so many cops, so many everything, when they could just do one.
Now, other people who live in this area quickly gathered at the scene, yelling at immigration officers and at Thornton police. A supervisor tells me Thornton PD was here to provide crowd control and not to assist with that federal investigation. I did speak with the woman who was detained with that baby. Again, she was eventually released. She tells me one of those 2 men taken into custody was her husband. She says he is in the country without documentation, but she says she does not know why he's being arrested, and she does not know where he's being taken tonight. Reporting live in Thornton, I'm Evan Krugel. Let's send things over to Angeline McCall in Denver, who's been monitoring another ICE operation throughout the day. Angeline?
Evan, you talk about questions from so many residents as to why this was happening or why their loved one was being targeted. Those same questions were things that we heard from residents here at Cedar Run Apartments off of Leedsdale and Oneida here in Denver. Now, early this morning, very different scene. It's calm now, but there were a lot of ICE agents here, different enforcement agencies, HSI, including FBI, were also here, going door to door, asking people for some documentation or some form of authorization as to if they're here in the country. Now, one man who told us that ICE came to his door, they demanded documents, he said, and when he tried to close the door, they put their foot inside to jam it. Another man told us he was heading to work with his friend. They stopped them and asked them for documents, and they led his friend to a bus that was here waiting for people who would potentially be detained. He said he doesn't understand why his friend was caught up in this operation when he hasn't done anything criminal.
La verdad, lo único que quisiera decirle a la policía que trataran de agarrar a los criminales que sí son verdaderos, no al que está haciendo un bien para un estado y el país.
But as of right now, what I've been noticing is they're just targeting people that are getting ready for work, starting their car up, heating it up, dropping their kids off. That's who they're getting right now.
We asked ICE as to how many of these are targeted enforcements, as in how many people did they detain that they were actually searching for versus how many people did they just encounter because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time and weren't able to actually present any form of documentation. They said that they couldn't comment on that as of right now.
All right, thank you, Angeline, and thanks to Evan Krugel as well.
感谢收看，感谢关注。美国海关移民执法局 ICE。在美国各州执法的力度真的是冰火两重天，有的州极力不配合，甚至当地警察都与 ICE 对着干，搞得 ICE 灰头土脸，下不来台。有的州挨家挨户查移民身份，不管有没有罪犯记录，为了 KPI， 先抓走关起来再说。各位网友，各位看官，你们的所在城市是什么情况？请把你们当地的情况务必写在评论区。感谢大家互动与评论。